Hello, beautiful beings. Hello, beautiful muses. I call forth the invitation for us to remember how to be muses for each other. I wanted to share with you a couple of real life stories of people who I've met in the last couple of months that not only I have inspired, but in I inspiring them, they also have been an inspiration to me in many different ways. And so I'm not only going to share with you these stories and their transformations, but I'm also going to share with us some tips of what we can do to actually give even more to others. Like the question that we ask ourselves as humans when we see so much contrast around us is, how can we give more? And many of us get stuck in thinking, I have to give like other people give, or I'm not giving enough, or you feel like the shame of where do you even begin? So I just wanted to give us some simple things that I have been doing throughout the years that you can tweak in your own ways, and you can add what feels right, because each one of us has specific gifts and ways in how we can give. So these are only mine, and they're here only to actually light that part, that muse part within you, for you, in order for you to connect with how you can even give more. So I wanted to share with you 4 stories of people, and I'm going to leave out the names. But this one beautiful young woman I saw at a store, and she worked there 6 days a week. She was like in her early 20s, already had 2 children, and she was feeling really shut down. And by the way, side note, if you don't already know me, people tend to share with me, and I feel so honored because I am actually probably one of, I don't even know how much, but I was going to say the 1%, where people of all walks of life share with me their most deepest fears, pains, and their life stories. And so I hold that very, with much like love and reverence and gratitude. And so I want to share kind of the transmissions rather than the story. So this beautiful, I was about to tell you her name, this beautiful young mama, I could tell was like in a crunchy state. When you're feeling completely overwhelmed as a mother, when you're feeling shut down, where you're just feeling like why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? Meaning like my life, it just feels like, was this my life? Was there any other way? And so in just speaking with her, this is the tip that I'm going to share with you after, is I asked her what she loved to do, and she said, I used to love to sing, and I've stopped singing, and I feel shame in singing in these situations, these situations. And so I gave her so many other feedbacks as a mom and as a coach. I gave her like tangible tools for her to take away and actually live out in her life. But most importantly, I just reminded her a couple of times, like, add singing to your life again. Just like, like wrap yourself in a bubble, even if your partner is looking at you and you're like feeling the shame and, all the things that you feel, and just start singing again. And so when I came back months later, oh, I got a little bird. Oh my gosh, a green little bird. So cute, green color of spring. Hello. So yes, when I came back months afterwards, actually, this is the cutest part of this, one of the cutest part of the stories. So I went back to the store and I texted it, and I asked the person if they could wait for me because I didn't know it was her, but I asked that store, I wrote them via WhatsApp, and I said, what time do you all close? And then they gave me a time frame, and I'm like, oh no, is there any chance that you can wait for us? So anyway, she ended up waiting for me almost 20 minutes. And when I arrive, I realize, oh my God, it's actually her. It is actually her. And so I thanked her. I gave her a big hug. I was like, oh my God, it was you. And she was like, oh my God, if I would have known it was you, I would have said, of course, like even, and she waited anyways. So you see how like life gives to me, life gifts to her, and I received so much. I always receive when people are sharing with me. But she told me that she had been singing, that she felt so much more at peace with her relationship with her children, with her partner. And so I just wanted to say, like, tip number one is ask people around you what they love to do, like what they loved to do back then, or what they would love to do more of, and inspire them. Ask them if you see them again, have you been doing that? Keep asking questions and kind of poking or inviting them, being like a muse. Like the muse wakes up those things that want to come back to life inside of us. And so inspire people, regardless of how much money they have and where they come from. Remind them to do that. So inspire them. That brings me to make it easy for them, because I'm actually speaking to people who work really hard, who receive very or little, no money. And so this is actually tip number 2. How can we make it easy for them? Wherever you can, in every area of your life, start paying people more. Not only with money, but with words, with affirmations, with invitations. Make it easy for that person who might be struggling in one or many areas in their life. Make it easy for them to actually have that inner space and that outer space they'll have to manifest it. Make it easier for them to actually trust that they can give to themselves, that they can actually manifest that in their life, because they're already feeling so full. And so if we have the capacity to make it easier for them, and not only we have the capacity, we do have the responsibility, those that have more in whatever shape, way, or form, to hold space, lift up others, even if it's a prayer, if it's an intention. If you can't do it physically, energetically, or financially at this moment, like, notice that we do have the capacity to just offer that gift, even if it's like an inner prayer. Like, even if you see somebody on the street and you're not going to give them money, send them that prayer, send them forth that they can receive whatever it is that they need. So y'all have heard me say, say this, and I will keep saying this, not in every video, but I will keep saying it when I feel called forth, is that especially if you have people around you who are, let's just name it, who are in the lower class and you are in a higher class, you are capable of paying them more. Pay them double. Pay them as much as you can, not just one person. Start to build everybody around you up. So build them up financially, build them up by inspiring them to reconnect with their soul gifts, because what's going to happen is they're going to start to feel more alive again. They're going to feel more creative. They're going to feel their own innate power rise again. They're going to feel that sovereignty welling back up inside of them, because you have been that person who has actually reminded them not only of their worthiness, but that it is okay and it is safe for them to take that new route in their life to actually feed themselves even more so in different areas. So I wanted to share with you another beautiful woman who is like an auntie to my daughters. We met her in this special little town that we love, and she had 4 different jobs, and she showed up just with so much love in all those jobs. So she was in the rat race, a young woman in the rat race, because she was in the rat race. You know, if I said she needed to be, well, she chose to be in the rat race. And every time I would see her, I would just feed her words of love and gratitude, because she just showed up with so much love. And just would remind her to give to herself, to keep listening to her own intuition. And it just so happens that months after I saw her again, she was so excited to tell me that not only was she getting married, but that she had stopped working those jobs and that she had created space to work from home And she had completely been the change maker. Like she had completely shifted the dynamic of like working for ends meets, very low paying jobs, to like be able to then choose within her own time and structure, working from home and using more of her gifts to work from home. And then the next time that I saw her, she said that even more opportunities were coming her way to actually do things that she was excited about. So not only had she like found, found her ground of like working from home, having more space, not having to run in 4 different directions of like 4 different jobs that are outward facing, serving people in the day-to-day, but that she created more of what she wanted, not only within her own home, but then she had a relationship to come back home to that she felt so satisfied with. I'm freezing here. The next beautiful person that we met months back, we met her because, should I say it? Those chance meetings where you accidentally do something, and one of my families accidentally did something. And so it was a chance meeting. It could have been, it was like, car crash. Just think car crash. I won't say any more of like the stories, but car crash. Again, a woman who has been working all of her life. She is the caretaker archetype. So she has been caretaking everybody around her. Somebody hits her. When I see her energy, she's completely full. She's feeling angry. And we gave to her exactly what she wanted, and if not more, to just allow her to actually do it in the quickest, most easeful way to get her car fixed. And we just kept in contact, her and I, like we connected, I think on the first or the second day. We both cried, we hugged each other, and we just kept connecting. And she was a beautiful woman who's very much in tune with plant medicine and with animal medicine. And so I just gave her, again, words of affirmation. I actually gave her some tidbits, and I'll give them to you because I know I've shared this in different ways. But tapping also for some people is a way to not only like self-soothe, but tapping is, it really helps us to come into it. I don't do it so much as just like, tapping teaches like you use these affirmations and you tap. I do it as a way also to like bring up those emotions and to allow those emotions to come out to the surface, because, for decades, many of us have held in these deep emotions in which we didn't feel safe as children and as adults to share with others. But anyways, so the tidbits that I gave her of like what exercises, foods, like some just like in 15 minutes, I just gave her like some tips. And I ran into her a couple of months after, and I saw her and I almost didn't recognize her. Her face was just flushed, filled with passion and life and vitality again. And she'd lost so much weight. And you could just feel like she could exhale. She didn't feel the pressure of, caring for the grandmother, caring for the nephews, driving around people in her very small car all over, because she had a car and most people around her didn't, just like all of the pressures. And she began to give to herself in physical, like, healthy rituals and routines that would actually give to her body. And in doing that, she just felt now she felt like she could give even more. That leads me to number 3. Tip number 3, what can you offer other people for free? What would you already have that you can offer people for free? I am transitioning. I've worked with mothers and women for decades now, and I've charged a lot. I've done lots of things. I've given my services for free. I've done the in-between. I've stopped. I've started. I've done it all. But I think one of the things that I've tried to keep, in some seasons I locked it down and I didn't feel like giving because I needed it. I needed to honor that inner winter season. It was actually a couple of months ago, and I was really in an inner winter season. And I was like, people don't look at me. I cannot give right now, literally. And that's okay. But what can you offer people? What can you give and offer people? I know that I can give presence. My name literally means to be heard. So I can give presence. I can hear people. And also, I can give them some of my gifts, right? And so I gave to her, and I gave, for example, last week we met another beautiful woman, and I literally made her videos because she has a pain in her knee. And I've helped heal many people through physical exercises and other things, but I literally just sent her some exercises. And again, she was like, oh, I'm gonna be so filled with work. And I sent her a reminder video, and I was like, girl, you told me, I gave you your feedback, you do your homework. I was like, it's gonna help you. Don't wait. Stop waiting until you have less work. Stop waiting until somebody gives you permission or more money. Stop waiting. It's like something internally has to switch inside of us when we're wanting to be reborn, that we have to take those action steps that many times it takes. It's like it's the before we take the action, it's this buildup of energy of like, you can't get up, you can't do it, you can't say it. But once you start that wheel turning, it's so much easier. So I wanted to share that whatever it is that you can offer, just offer it up for free. Just give it to especially people who are most in need. And that trust that obviously if that is a service that you charge, in your work realm or however it is you call it, what I've noticed is in this era, we're being called to like bring, and this is very much, I'd say, Aquarius energy as well as Libra energy, where it's like, how can we use our very unique gifts to uplift the collective and to bring more harmony? And so that Libra relation, the Libra energy of how can we rise, like how can we give of ourselves to help another rise, so that the balance of the scales, like we're always waiting for like somebody else to do it, or for the government, or for like let's hire the minimum wage, or let's like change the educational system. Like people, what I want to give you today is like real intangible to-dos that you can actually do today when you stop watching this. And hopefully my muse will inspire your own muse to actually keep giving those around you even more, from a place that feels more in alignment with you, of course, and whatever season that you're in. I'm not saying if you're in a winter season, it's time for you to give to others. No, it's actually probably time for you to cocoon and to receive and to ask for help. So yes to asking yourself, just taking a moment, like what can I give right now? Like what can you give? It's funny, like it popped up to me in my mind, like memes, like something as simple as memes. Like, can we use memes like to send to each other that are like inspirational memes? Like it doesn't have to cost anything. It doesn't have to be rocket science. It can be anything at all. Like I know which way I serve people who I don't charge money. But how can you give to others? And of course I'm not speaking directly you in relationship, like to your children or to your partner or to your clients. I'm talking about the greater community. How can we open up our hearts to actually see that we need to stop fighting each other and fighting the supposedly like systems, or fighting like what we feel like needs to change, and like fighting against what is, like fighting against what we even judge. I know for my own winter season a couple of months back, I kept judging internally that I had more than others. I kept judging wanting even more financially. I kept judging, people around me that had so much and were barely giving to others. I kept judging, like I had to go through this internal kind of like realization of like more and more shadowy steps that were inside of me in that winter season in regards to into my own judgment, judge archetype. And not only that, but from my giving, like my capacity to give to others and want to give in this new era. So I know that each one of us has our own kind of stories behind that, but I do trust that each one of us can, wherever we are, give a smile, give a compliment, uplift, inspire, give more money. Like there's just so many things that we can do. I've given food. Those of you who know me intimately, there's many times where I have given food as medicine to others who have given to me, who are needing it, etc., etc. Okay, so the last one we just met recently, and it was a beautiful young man who we actually knew, and we ran into him in a completely different location, and he had left his job. He had left his job because he had realized that at that job, he was never gonna be able to go up. Like, that's why I'm making this video, because it was like, how can I inspire people? He really realized that he was stuck there. Like, he had all of these ideas that he was sharing with his bosses. He had all of these dreams, and he realized, actually, like, me and my brother we're not going to do that. We're not going to be able to actually live out our dreams. And so he was so wise that he left. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. You were such like a little gypsy, a little gypsy. That would be like Sagittarius medicine. Like, he left, and he's going to be traveling for a while, and he received a job that gave to him much more, where he was fed literally for free. There were just so many, the people, like, he just felt like he was going up to then like take the adventure and the next leap that he was wanting to. And he shared that his brother wanted the same, but in different ways for himself, but that he wasn't able to, he wasn't able to say, no, this is not right for me. I want to receive more. Hold on. I wrote something. Oh, yes. I wanted to receive more, but he wasn't ready to leave. So I just kept reminding him. I said, you're such an inspiration. Keep telling people around you, to really know their worthiness, to not keep waiting for people to change and to like give to them if they already aren't. Because this goes back to like when I said tip number 2, pay them twice, pay them more, give to them more. Many times in our society, and all, like, it doesn't matter, like, high, middle, like low, high class, middle, or low, but many times we hire someone or we use someone to give to us something, and then we keep adding more responsibilities. Have you ever had that job? And not only that, like, I've done that to other people and I've done that to myself. So I know that experience pretty well. But his brother's job kept adding things to him without even paying him more. And he was very clear on what he wanted. So my invitation to us is to stop adding, especially people who already have a lot on their plate. Like, hello, don't add more to their plate. We know, like, I'm talking to the people who have more money. I'm talking to the people who have more resources. I'm talking to even the person who has less money but is feeling more full, right? Like, whoever is feeling more full, like, hallelujah, thank you, amen, that you are in that situation. You most probably have been in situations internally where you haven't, and you've had people who have uplifted you. So again, how can we bring people around us? How can we help them to rise? So I kept reminding him, I say, keep telling your brother, just keep showing him, what you're doing, and sending him love. and just, you know, trusting that, you know, we all have our own, you know, stories to tell and to live out, but that it is important to actually, you know, come to those realizations of like, hey, I know what my dream is, and where I am currently, that's not feeding it. So how can I start feeding it myself rather than waiting that other person, even if it's your partner? Even like, don't blame and go to like, you know, that's the perpetrator, because they're not. No. So you start in your very own daily life saying, this is what I'm gonna do more of, and this is what I'm gonna do less of. This is what I'm gonna say yes to, and this is what I'm gonna say no to. So thank you. If you're here, thank you for listening to all of those stories. So a recap, hello, pay people more. And recap, number one, ask them what they love. Ask them what they love to do. Inspire them to do more of that. Number two, pay people around you much, much more. Take responsibilities, things away from other people that you know are giving so much. Like, hello, we are now in a situation and we just keep adding more things. We have this person to help to do this. We have this person, and then we keep adding more and more and more and more, like either onto one person or to so many people around us. How can we simplify our lives? How can we simplify other people's lives as well? That's the summary of that one. So make it easy for them, make it easy for you, make it ease-filled as well. And what are you offering? Number three, what can you offer to others that is a gift, that is an offering, that just will feed you as you feed others? And I want to leave us with a beautiful saying in Spanish of this beautiful other woman that I met. I'm just so grateful for all of the beautiful beings that I've met in this last time, in this last season of my life. Patricia, I call her Patricia la Cuántica. This beautiful, oh, I gave you her name? She said it was okay. I actually did ask her. I met her and she was completely, like, she had gone through her metamorphosis. She had ended a relationship which she needed to end. She had moved, she had created a new life. She lived so simply, so simply. She just lived so simply, but you could see and you could sense and you could taste her satiation. And she gifted me with these words, like she literally, like, she just came out, like she was a mystic. I'm like, damn. I'm like, woman, you need to write. And actually she shares her voice through the radio or something. So I was like, I inspired her to keep going. I was like, your message has to be shared vocally. So literally, like, she had this like thing that she donated. I can't remember where it was on the radio, but she was doing that. And I just kept inspiring her to actually do that. That was my number one, right? My number one tip. And it's in Spanish. Basically in English, like, she transformed her life from being somebody who lived on an Excel spreadsheet, like step 1, step 2, step 3, like, this is what I do, this is where I was born, this is the stories of my past. She had huge trauma, like, this is where I was, this is where I actually am now. And it's just like, you're gonna, if you want to get the Google Translate it, because it's not gonna be this, it won't be the same, sorry, but she gave it to me in Spanish, so here it is. Mi vida fue un cuadro de Excel. Mi vida fue un cuadro de Excel. Ahora mi vida es una observación cuántica. Es decir, momento a momento observo, elijo y manifiesto. Suelto y confío en gozo y gloria. So basically it's from a life that was an Excel spreadsheet to being the observer of, like, the quantum field of possibilities, of magic, of living in magic. I decide moment by moment, and I choose to live in this beautiful manifestation. I let go of what I no longer need, and I trust in gozo. Gozo is in joy, like in enjoying, and in the glory of this beautiful sacred life. Amen. Have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day, beautiful muses. I'd love to hear. Are there any of those 3 tips that you would love to start doing that you already do? Or if you have any more tips, share with them in our comments so we can literally grow the community of muses, inspiring each other to live our most beautiful, magical life today in our own sacred bodies as we are, in the messy, in the mundane, in and with the mystical, and in and with the magical. Amen. Mwah. Have a beautiful day.